Compromise beats.
If there was a zombie apocalypse, I'm not too sure if I'd want to have children. But if I get horny and something happens and there's a baby, well, I'm gonna have to try to raise a kid in a zombie world.
Wait, what? Where did you get the
what are you talking about?
Well, we never know what's gonna happen, right?
Well, considering how the world is now and seeing the way, like in the direction it's heading, I feel like Isaac's life, like in the near future to come, I feel like it's gonna be very promising because seeing how technology is advancing like so crazy fast, like things that we would never expect to happen, like are being invented. Yeah, exactly, like the internet and all that.
There's vacuum cleaners that fucking clean your house without anybody doing it.
There's cars that can drive by themselves. Like, who knows? Like in like 10, 20 years, if they'll be like flying cars. You know, things like we've always wanted because of seeing like how technology is progressing so fast. So I feel like he'll have like an easier life because all these like startup companies too make life so much easier, like ordering food and it'll just come to your door.
Would you let him fuck a robot?
Shut up. Anyways.
I was waiting for the answer.
Because she's like,
his question is directly related to where she was going.
It is.
It's funny, but like the image is funny. That's what I'm laughing at. But then you're talking about all this technology and everything like happening, right? So there's a chance that there might be intelligent robot.
I mean,
Yeah.
There are people marrying like their sex dolls. And
Exactly.
shit. So I mean, if that was what made him happy,
It's safe sex.
then that's his life. Like, good luck. Like, I mean, what else am I gonna say?
That'll be my good luck.
I mean, what else can I say? I'm gonna forbid him. Like,
All he wanted to know, move on.
You could fuck a robot if you want to.
cool.
I don't see it as cheating.
Me neither.
Really?
If you want to fuck a power strip, I don't care.
A power strip?
Yeah, sir.
Plugged in or not plugged in?
Whatever you want. You can
What
fuck
if it was like?
She already does.
Oh my god.
It's called a vibrator. That's a robot.
Now we know she has a vibrator that she.
You guys should get one too.
If you don't have one, you're missing out. Okay.
Yeah, so that's the future I see for Isaac and like the future. Actually, I see a bright future because then the way, I mean, you know, we talk about this a lot, how society now is like a lot more sensitive and like a lot more like PC, like really worried about not like bullying people, not hurting people. So I feel like if things continue to go the way they're going, then it'll be like a happier world that we'll live in. Because then hopefully, that's what I'm hoping, that like, you know, people will see like, oh, you shouldn't bully this person because of that, and like they'll be more considerate. Like we'll all be more considerate of each other's feelings and like people's thoughts. And
well, for me, I think it's pseudo sensitive. They're not really sensitive. Like for example, like the people that are like, oh, don't call disabled people handicapped.
They probably end it with asshole.
They're pseudo sensitive because that's all they say. But it's like, well, how much money did you donate to the ADA? Like, what have you done? You know. Yeah. So I think a lot of people, the sensitive direction that it's going, I actually feel like there are a lot of bitches going in this direction because they just don't want to hear the things they don't want to hear, but they're not doing anything to contribute to make that better. Right. So I actually feel like that's actually going to get worse because now people, what they say and what they do is getting further and further and further apart.
Well, I actually would disagree because of the internet and because of like spreading awareness and all that stuff, like there's so many like GoFundMe projects for like funding a certain charity or whatever. So I feel like now it's actually people are being more involved.
I think there's more initiatives, but none of them are really getting fully funded. Like the percentage of like, if there's 1,000 GoFundMes, not all 1,000 are getting fully funded.
That's true.
It's just maybe like 10 here or 5. Like there's the actual sensitive people that are actually contributing. Like for me, like I talk mad shit, but when I only had $1,000 in my bank account and I forgot what happened with like Hurricane Katrina, I donated $500. to the Red Cross. To me, like, there's world issues and I'm contributing to it. I may talk a lot of shit, but I think actions are louder than words.
Yeah.
But I think the current day people, they're completely opposite. They're like, yeah, free information for the internet. We gotta pass this around. And Wikipedia's like, if one person donates $5 right now, we can solve this whole issue. Everyone's like, nah, skip. I'm gonna go on to something else.
For me, I'm a bit torn between, like, yes, my child's futures look super promising for the same reasons you did, and the fact that, like, people are now just being more aware of, like, just, you know, cultural diversity, and, like, the whole minority thing is not so much now, like, the color of your skin. I feel like it's, like, other types of things, but I'm torn because I'm like, fuck, what's really happening to this environment in terms of, like, global warming, how wasteful we are, like, how, like, our habits are just destroying this planet. I'm like, fuck, I don't know if they're gonna have a good quality of life, you know? Like, I feel like we're not doing anything to change it. Like, we know all these things are happening, but it's like, we're just kind of just chilling on our iPhones hunting Pokemon, you know? So I'm like, fuck, like, I don't know if they're gonna have, it is, but I just don't know if the kid's gonna have the same childhood that I did, you know? Like, even now when I come out, like, when I drive around my neighborhood, I don't see any kids playing on the street, and I'm like,
That's a sad image.
like, what kind of quality of life is that?
were.
Like, that's weird. Like, I grew up, like, you know, and I would go to different neighborhoods, and kids were always playing, like, in the middle of the street, or you'd see them on bikes, or you'd see them at the park and stuff. And now I'm like, where did everyone go? Like, what's going on? It's so weird.
That's not true.
I don't know.
I think the quality of life is determined at home though. So for someone like you, like Gio's family, they live in the hood, like super hood, where there's like pregnant teenagers all over the place. There's 40-year-old veteranos
It's
like
true, though.
riding a bike. People spray paint their own basketball court in the middle of this. Like, they have complete disregard for law and society.
Drugs are everywhere.
But because your family was able to isolate you, even though you lived in the heart of it, like, your parents were able to shield you guys from all of that. So even in a really corrupt world, they were able to do that.
That's
And
true.
then even in people in a super ballin', affluent with mad resource community, you still got kids that are hella fucked up doing cocaine. So I don't really think it's the environment really affecting the kids. I think it really starts off at home, and I just hope that, like, when I have kids, I can kind of help be the guidance.
Parenting plays a big role in how the kids these days are growing up to be too, because I think our generation, growing up as kids, the parents that we had, I think they were more sacrificing of how they lived and their dreams and stuff, and they were willing to work hard, work that 9-to-5 lifestyle to provide for us, to create the dreams that we wanted to come true, right? And for our generation, I feel like this is the first generation of people worldwide too, I think, where access has become...
And we have our own dreams.
Yeah, we have our own dreams that we don't want to let go. I feel like we're the first generation to really finally get to this place in time where we have the access, we can finally, within our own means, create those dreams to come true, and we're not waiting for some bigger person to come in and hand us that paycheck, right?
I feel like the current situation that we're in, living in LA, the prices like the cost of having children and giving them a good quality of life full of like rich resources and stuff like that, meaning like good school system, good neighborhood, good clean food to eat. It's so fucking expensive.
It's just here though. It's not like you could go to Minnesota and give them everything for this, like, way less.
Yeah, I think that's why I said specifically
Yeah.
LA
That's true.
or big cities.
San Francisco,
It's
New York.
harder and harder. That's why in Japan and Korea they have a population problem. Big cities cause that stuff. People rather like, you know what, I'm just gonna wait. I don't have enough money yet, or I don't want to get married yet. I'm still career driven. So everyone's putting work, career, money, goals first before human relationships. But the more country you go, it's like you don't have to. There's plenty of food, plenty of land.
Considering that what you said, do you think, in terms of pursuit of happiness, do you think people that are living in the rural areas that are simply just kind of living life on a simpler means, do you think their pursuit of happiness is much more successful than those that are striving to have dreams and like become something like bigger, I guess?
I think it all depends on the person's value. So like, let's say, because there are people who, leave town and move to the big city because they have bigger goals, and then like you did that, like wherever they're at, they can't achieve their goals there, right? But some people, they're like, fuck, I love this lifestyle. I tried living in the city, but I love growing my corn.
There's nothing wrong with
And there's so for me, I imagine a life like fuck. I want to just live in a country because I never got a chance to, so I don't know what it's like. So I romanticize about it, you know. And it's the same thing. I feel like people go to the city and they go fuck. I want to live there, and they go it's not for me. But it all goes down to what you value. Do you want 10 kids? Do you want 1 kid?
My vagina can't handle 10 kids. That shit's gonna look.
But I feel like you're right though. In our parents' generation, people just did shit because they had to just do shit.
And it's also like now it's like let's say we are the parents that want to pursue our dreams, and we assume that's what our kids want too. But who knows? They might want the country lifestyle.
That's true.
And then what about the grandkids? Like we don't know what they're gonna do. And then from like a more Asian standpoint, a lot of Asians, they have like a perspective where I'm gonna set up the next 3-4 generations. They ain't gotta worry about shit.
Yeah.
But what if you set them up and they don't even want to do what you set them up with?
They fuck up whatever you did.
Yeah, it's like I want my grandkids to go whatever college they want to, and then my grandkid is the one that wants to go to the countryside and eat dog shit or something. I'm like, oh fuck, that's completely opposite than what I planned. So it's I feel like it's so hard. It's like this is what we're facing now, where we're so first world that it's awesome we get to have these luxuries and options, but then now we still have like the old school thinking that some of us have, and then now we're faced with just a lot of decisions to make.
Well, I don't know. It's hard to say what the future is going to actually hold because we're assuming like everything's going to keep going exponentially up. We could have a collapse in our economy. We could have like,
apocalypse.
like going back to post-apocalyptic stuff. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I think what I kind of see happening is that every generation feels a little bit concerned about the next one because their idea of quality changes. So like my grandparents' idea of quality is they think that our generation has it bad. They're like, oh, these kids, they don't know nothing. Like their quality of life sucks.
They
like,
don't know nothing.
Yeah,
They
like,
can't no nuts.
No English.
but we appreciate our quality of life,
Yeah.
and for some reason we still have that same thing that they have, whereas like we're concerned about their future, but I don't feel any concern for my children's quality of life because I think like they're gonna grow into whatever it is, they're gonna be used to it and they're gonna appreciate it.
They're gonna learn to adapt.
So
to
every
it.
generation just worries
Yeah.
for no
Because
reason.
Or they
if they're
think they're
born into
better.
a certain set of standards, if they're born into that, then that's going to be the reality for them, which is a very different life experience from us. So we grew up in a generation where it's like we saw the internet come to life. A lot of us grew up lower income, but then we're probably gonna raise our kids in an upper income type of lifestyle. I'm gonna be like, you spoiled fuck. Fucking
Even
little
though
rich
I
kid.
spoiled you, you little
fucking
shit.
little rich
We're,
bitch.
That's what I'm saying
we're
about
already
Isaac
calling
right
Isaac
now.
that.
Look at that celebrity ass Isaac.
Get to travel
I know
the
this
world.
fucking rich kid. Jealous of my own kid. What? Damn, dude.